Resolution 5, which was detailed in the Notice of Accounts, and you'll hear that shortly, and Ordinary Resolution 6, which will only be voted on if Resolution 5 isn't carried, and both relate to the membership fee. You'll be presented with Resolution 5 and then a series of amendments relating to Resolution 5. You will hear the original resolution and then each of the amendments in turn. And after each amendment, you will vote. You will only vote on Resolution 5 if none of the amendments are carried by a simple majority. So just to recap, you're going to hear all of the amendments, and after each amendment, you will take a vote. And you will only vote on Resolution 5 if none of the amendments are carried by a simple majority. Resolution 6 and amendments will not be heard unless a majority of u3a's vote against all of the amendments to Resolution 5 and Resolution 5 itself. Okay, so we won't go on to Resolution 6 unless none of the amendments to Resolution 5 are carried and Resolution 5 itself isn't carried. For a resolution to succeed, or an amendment to succeed, it needs to be passed by more than 50% of the votes cast. And this is because it's an ordinary resolution under the Companies Act, which has to be passed by a simple majority of members who cast their vote. You'll be offered, as before, the opportunity to vote for a resolution. On each resolution or amendment, you'll be able to vote for, against or abstain. An abstention will not be counted in the pool of votes cast, and this is because an abstention represents a decision not to cast a vote rather than a vote one way or the other. We will announce the results of all votes, including abstentions. Please note that a person attending and entitled to vote will count towards the quorum of the articles, even if they decide in practice they do not wish to cast a vote and choose to abstain. But we are quorate anyway, so that's a good thing. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to give you I'm going to give you a bit more information in a moment, but what we're going to do is, as I said before, you're going to hear the Resolution 5, and then we'll start hearing the amendments. After each amendment, you'll vote. At the end of hearing all of the amendments, we will show you all of the votes. So the people at the back that are collecting the votes, you'll see all of the votes. But we're going to hear all the amendments, vote on the amendments, and at the end of that, you will see all the votes to all of the amendments. Proposers and... Yes?
The original one are the votes?
The original, right, so the original resolution will be voted upon if none of the amendments pass. So just to be clear, I'm just going to say this one more time. Resolution 5 will only be voted upon if none of the amendments to Resolution 5 pass by simple majority. Okay.
One question.
So can I just clarify, that's not how you've explained how the votes are going to be shown.
Yeah.
That's not my understanding. My understanding was we would vote on Amendment 1, we would know the results of Amendment 1 before we went on to Amendment 2. So you've just described we vote for all of the amendments
Yes.
at one go. So if Amendment 1 has been passed, then automatically, irrespective of what's done for the other amendments, then Amendment 1 becomes voted on.
So just, sorry, I think, so the question is, I think the question is, part of the question is saying, why are we voting on all the amendments? No.
Could I try and answer?
Why are we voting on the amendment at one go without knowing the result of the vote on the first amendment? Because when I read the standing orders for the AGM, and I will apologise if I got the information incorrect, But my understanding is we will vote on resolution 1. If that doesn't carry, then we vote on resolution 2, amendment 2. Then we vote on amendment 3. Then if none of the amendments for resolution 5 are passed, then we vote on resolution 5. So each vote would be done separately and reported on separately. And I believe that's what the standing orders said. But I will apologise if I'm wrong.
So,
Sorry, I'm Lynn Button, Milton Keynes.
right, okay. So basically, we took advice on what we needed to do with all these amendments, and the advice we were given, the legal advice we were given, is because the amendments are all different. So they're not all. So we have a series of amendments. Some relate to a fixed price increase. Some relate to a percentage increase, and some relate to a combination of those factors relating to a different index, and some relate to a cap. So because they're not items that you can sequentially go through, so if we had a resolution that said we'll increase it by 5p, by 10p, by 20p, yes, we would do that. The advice from the lawyer was we have to vote on each amendment in turn, and the one with the highest majority, if any, is carried, because we have a series of amendments that cover a range of possibilities relating to the membership fee. Yep.
Due to the size of your particular membership.
Excuse me, sorry, could we get a question to this gentleman, please?
If your membership number is such that you, for example, in our case, have 3 votes, will the system automatically cast our 3 votes in one push of the button? We won't have to press the button 3 times.
Yes, so the voting system has the weighted votes for each u3a carried in it. So when you vote, if you've got 3 votes, 3 votes will be allocated. If you've got 5 votes, 5 will be allocated. If you've got 1 will be allocated. Are we ready to go ahead? One more question.
What's the point of having standing orders if you don't abide by them?
We have
Standing orders say.
we have abided by them because we've actually looked at them, realised that we have a series of amendments that are variations of the different options available to the membership fee. By choosing one, we were favouring one to another. So, some people might have asked for a fixed increase, some have asked for a percentage, some have asked for a link to a different CPI, different index, for example. Because of that, the lawyers said we must hear them all because there's a range of amendments. Otherwise, we'd be favouring one approach over another, and we must not do that.
Well, why haven't we amended the standing orders to reflect that?
Well, we will have to do that, yes.
Well, but we haven't at the moment, so we're going against our standing orders.
Sorry?
We're going against our standing orders as written.
No, the standing orders don't reflect this particular situation, and that's why we've taken legal advice to ensure we're doing things correctly. And for sure, we will amend the standing orders to include this particular element, so we won't have to go back to ask for legal advice next time round. Right. Okay, any more questions? One more question for the lady at the front here.
Thank you. Dinah Strong, Arden. By doing that, I understand you're giving an airing to everything and different possibilities, but if you get 3 or whatever with a majority, in order to do what you've just said, which is to reflect what people feel, those of us who don't vote for, say, one of them or 2 of them that have a majority might want to have a possibility of actually, if this doesn't go, we'll vote for that one, to give a fair reflection of what you've just said is the widest possible membership.
Absolutely, and that's why you can vote on all of them. So you can vote yes to all of them or no to all of them. You can vote as many as you want. So just to be clear, you are able to vote on every single amendment, and we would encourage you to vote on every amendment to show how you feel how you feel for your u3a you wish to represent their feelings. So you can vote for, against or abstain on each amendment and on the resolutions. So that is absolutely available to you. Are we ready to go? Brilliant. And so in fact, Pip from North Wales also said, can I vote in favour of each amendment? Yes, you may. And Carmel, can I vote for more than one amendment? Carmel from Tetbury District, yes, you can. You can vote for them all, however you wish to do so. Good. We're ready to go. Right, so proposers and seconders of resolutions and amendments are permitted to speak for 5 minutes the proposer and 3 minutes the seconder under our standing orders. We will hear from all proposing and seconding u3as and the board of the Third Age Trust. Some of the proposing and seconding u3as have asked me as Company Secretary to read their statements on their behalf, which I will do. And I am reading those statements word for word as submitted to me. The board have taken the decision to offer only one person to speak for the initial resolution. During the amendments, we will be strictly keeping to time. So we're now going to hear Resolution 5, proposed by the board of the Third Age Trust. The resolution is as follows. And don't forget, you're not voting on this, you're just hearing it, right? So the resolution is as follows. The annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the UK's state pension increase. So Liz Thackeray will now speak in favour of the resolution.
Right. So this is the supporting statement in favour of the board resolution. The Board of Directors of the Third Age Trust are asking the membership to enable us to continue our support and services to the members. The Trust proposes a cost of living increase in the membership fee. We regret having to propose this so soon after the last increase, but feel strongly that it is necessary for the following reasons. Firstly, when the original budget was set and agreed in the winter 2021, inflation was estimated to be 3%. It is now predicted to reach 10% by the end of the summer. This proposal is not a real terms increase, but a means to keep pace with inflation. Secondly, the effect of the pandemic, among other factors, has resulted in a reduction in u3a membership across the UK by approximately 63,000, and these are not recovering as quickly as expected. More u3as are asking for support from the Trust to get through this difficult period. Thirdly, without an increase, we shall be unable to maintain the present level of support and services to members. It is appreciated that u3as prefer to plan their budgets well in advance and keep their membership subscriptions as low as possible. Each year, when His Majesty's Government announce any change to the state pension in October, u3as will know what the increase-decrease to subscription fees will be on 31st March the following year. Therefore, they can plan accordingly in advance of the increase for inflation. There are two proposals to be considered. The first is to implement this system in April 23, and should that fail, a second to defer until April 2024. The board asks you to seriously consider the first proposal in order to maintain and continue to improve the services provided both to u3as and their individual members. If the increase is delayed until 2024, then there will be a deficit due to inflation of approximately £250,000.
Thank you, Liz. We will now hear the Amendment 1 to the Board Ordinary Resolution 5, and this is proposed by Newhaven and Peacehaven and seconded by Littlehampton. They have said that the words "and each year thereafter" be deleted, and so the amended resolution will read as follows. The annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid-up members based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 by an amount based on the UK pension increase. The effect of this resolution is that the state pension increase to be set in October 2022, and estimated to be 10 to 11%, would apply to the subscription from the 1st of April 23, but thereafter future increases would come back to the membership. The proposing and seconding u3as feels that this is a clear enough amendment and you may move to a straight vote. So you will now have the opportunity to vote on that first amendment.
Oh, it's gone.
Can someone help this gentleman in the front here, please?
Can you not switch off for a minute?
Have you managed to vote?
Yeah.
Oh, right, great, sorry. Okay, excellent, fantastic. Right, so, are we done? Done, right. So we're now going to move to Amendment 2 to Ordinary Resolution 5, and this is proposed by Reigate and Redhill and seconded by Epsom and Ewell. That the words from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced with the words on the 1st of April 2023 by the state pension increase 3.1% applied the previous April 2022. So the amended resolution will read, the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year be increased on the 1st of April 2023 by the state pension increase 3.1% applied the previous April 2022. The effect of this resolution is that the state pension increase of 3.1% would apply to the subscription on the 1st of April 2023, but thereafter any further increases would have to come back to the membership. The proposing and seconding u3as have asked that I read out the supporting statement on their behalf. Our u3a is supportive of I just also want to remind you this is proposed by Reigate and Redhill and seconded by Epsom and Ewell. They say, our u3a is supportive of and values the work of the Third Age Trust and understands the requirement for the trust income to keep pace with increasing costs. In principle, we consider it reasonable to align any proposed subscription increase to that of the state pension, but prefer a known clear figure on which to vote and plan. The effect, note and plan, hold on a minute, excuse me just a moment, 81, right. The effect of the resolution is that the increase applied to the state pension from the 1st of April 3.1% would be applied to the trust subscription from the 1st of April. We consider an ongoing review mechanism important in terms of accountability for the work of the Trust. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 2 to Resolution 5. Okay to move? Okay, we're going to move. We will now hear Amendment 3 to Resolution 5, proposed by Ponty Clun and seconded by Crick Howell, that the words by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced with by an amount based on the UK state pension by an amount based on the inflation rate CPI in the previous October but capped at 5%. So the amended resolution will read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the inflation rate CPI in the previous October but capped at 5%. This would fix the rate of increase to the CPI rate in the previous October but cap it at 5% from the 1st of April 23 and each year thereafter. The proposing and seconding u3as have asked that I read their supporting statement. This is what they say. Some of our younger members will not be receiving state pension yet. Any income that they receive may not be increased by inflation. Not all members will be receiving state pension and occupational pensions, and their income will be low. Some members may be receiving state pension credit to top up a low income. Whilst we realise the proposed increase will only be £1 or £2 to each individual, if all companies and organisations increase their fees by inflation, this will cancel out any increase in income people receive. With the huge increases in energy bills and higher food bills, some members with lower incomes may decide that membership of the u3a is not a priority if they're struggling to pay bills, and we could see a decrease in members. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 3 to Resolution 5. Okay, we're going to move on to hear the next one. We're now going to hear Amendment 4 to Resolution 5. This is proposed by Loxheath and seconded by Gosport. That the words annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the UK's state pension increase be deleted and replaced with these words: the individual annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their relevant paid up members based on the total number in their membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and the 1st of April 2024 by an amount calculated using the inflation rate percentage capped at 5% in the UK's Consumer Price Index in the previous October in each of these years. This would set the increase in April 2023 and April 2024 only as CPI in the previous October, but cap the increase to 5% for those years. Hopefully we've got him with us. I now call upon Les Hill from Loxheath to speak on behalf of Loxheath and Gosport u3a.
Hi Les, could you unmute please?
You're with us, Les. Over to you.
I sent you our supporting statement to read.
Okay, I will read that.
Please.
Computer support. Chris.
She just needs some help.
Right. I will read. Sorry. I will read the statement on behalf of Les. Thank you, Les. Here is our supporting statement for Resolution 5, changes to the membership subscription rates from the 1st of April 2023, Amendment number 4. This amended resolution is based upon the assumption that when the Trust issued their latest accounts and budgets, these would justify the need for an increase in the membership subscription. The amended resolution is designed to offer a compromise to the Trust resolution with its open-ended annual increase, the use of the state pension as a financial index, and a vaguely stated basis of how any increase would be calculated. The idea of an automatic increase each year without discussion with the member u3as is contradictory to the Trust's previous method of handling increases. For most u3as to hear about the proposed increase by publishing it first as an AGM resolution is not acceptable. The use of the state pension cannot be justified as it's not a true financial index. The government can amend the operation of the triple lock to suit their aims or the effect on the government finance and have already done so. The triple lock includes an automatic 2.5% which applies even if the other two indices do not justify an increase. This means under the Trust's original resolution they would have a guaranteed 2.5 increase every year. If the Trust is insisting on the use of a financial index in their calculations, a better alternative is required, and we are proposing the Consumer Price Index. It is one of the indices in the triple lock, but is free from government interference. It is well known, being quoted regularly in the media, is updated regularly, and is commonly used in cost price calculations. It therefore seems a more suitable index. We accept that introducing a more formalised method of calculating increases to the membership subscriptions is something the Trust is entitled to propose. As what could be an alternative to the each year increase, this amendment resolution suggests a 2-year trial period, which would supply increases each year for the Trust, but at amounts u3as can estimate, as they can track the movement of the Consumer Price Index in each financial year. This trial period would also provide time for the Trust and individual u3as to discuss and agree how subscriptions are calculated going forward. So that is their supporting statement. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 4 to Resolution 5. Okay. What am I doing? Oh. Okay, just to people online, have we finished that vote? what are we waiting for?
The whole thing's crashed. And nobody seems to be able to help me.
Just booting it up again. Because you've got help, I can't.
Is that okay? Right, brilliant. Okay, fantastic. Right, we're now ready to move on to Amendment 5 to Ordinary Resolution 5. We want, this is proposed by Quick Howell and seconded by Ponty Clune. And forgive me, Ponty Clune, if I'm absolutely pronouncing your name incorrectly. That the words by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced by the words by an amount based on the inflation CPI current in the previous October but capped at 10%. The amended resolution will read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number in membership on the 31st of March each year be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the inflation rate CPI current in the previous October but capped at 10%. This would the effect of this would fix the rate of increase to the CPI rate in the previous October, but it would be capped at 10% from April 2023 and each year thereafter. The proposing and seconding u3as have asked that I read their supporting statement on their behalf, which I will now do. Quick Howell and District and Ponty Clune recognise that an increase in membership subscriptions is essential for the Trust to remain financially stable, and that such an increase should be linked to inflation in ordinary times. However, we do not support linking the increase to the UK state pension increase. For each u3a to remain sustainable, we need to attract new members in the lower age bracket. People are no longer eligible for their state pension at 60 or 65, but at 67 plus. This is not to mention the huge disservice to women in particular who have suffered substantial financial loss due to the increase in the age of eligibility imposed over the last 20 years. We have members who, though retired, do not yet receive the state pension and who actually feel offended by the suggestion of linking members' subscriptions to it. We are not living in ordinary times and know that inflation will exceed 10% in the very near future. Members are worried about their rising living costs, and if we are to retain them and attract new members, the annual increase should be capped. So that is their supporting statement. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 5 to Resolution 5. Okay, thank you very much. We are now going to move on to Amendment 6 to Ordinary Resolution 5. And this is proposed by Dronfield and seconded by Chesterfield. They have said that the words "and each year thereafter" by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced with "be increased from the 1st of April by 20 pence and from the 1st of April 2023 by 20 pence and from the 1st of April 2024 by a further 30 pence. So the amended resolution will read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members, based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year, be increased from the 1st of April 2023 by 20 pence and from the 1st of April 2024 by a further 30 pence. This would increase the subscription rate to £4.20 from the 1st of April 23 and £4.50 from the 1st of April 2024. The proposing and seconding u3as have asked that I read their supporting statement. Dronfield and District u3a and Chesterfield u3a can never support any vague resolution which permits financial increases selected remotely and with an authority that continues ad infinitum. We would have liked it linked to a report which was reasonably specific about how the additional funds would be spent. However, it was not included after the warning any additional wording which created a variation to existing resolutions would be rejected. I can see no reason why draft final accounts could not have been circulated in advance of the AGM paperwork. So that was their supporting statement. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 6 to Resolution 5. Okay, so we are now going to move on to hear Amendment 7 to Ordinary Resolution 5. And just to remind you, I'm reading the supporting statements word for word. This is proposed by Pembury and seconded by Tunbridge Wells. And they have said that the words "and each year thereafter" by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced with the words "to £4.20 with no increase for any subsequent year unless and until member u3as vote on a resolution to approve a specific amount of increase by simple majority at an annual general meeting or an extraordinary general meeting of the Third Age Trust. Such vote not to be held before the Third Age Trust has issued to member u3as detailed accounts for itself and all of its subsidiary companies for the year ended the 31st of March prior to publication of that resolution. So the amended resolution will now read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members, based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year, be increased from the 1st of April 2023 to £4.20 with no increase for any subsequent year unless and until member u3as vote on a resolution to approve a specific amount of increase by simple majority at an annual general meeting or an extraordinary general meeting of the Third Age Trust. such vote not to be held before the Third Age Trust has issued to the member u3a's detailed accounts for itself and all of its subsidiary companies for the year ended prior 31st of March prior to the publication of that resolution. This would increase the subscription rate to £4.20 from the 1st of April 2023, with any further increases having to be returned to a future general meeting to which detailed accounts have been provided. And Roger Gardner from Pembury was hoping to read this, but he's now no longer able to, so he's asked me to read this on his behalf. Statement to support Amendment 7 to Resolution 5, Third Age Trust 2022 AGM. I am Roger Gardner, Vice Chair of Pembury u3a, and the person who drafted Amendment 7. My reason for doing so was because I thought Resolution 5 was poorly drafted, wrong in principle, and imposed a potential and unnecessarily high increase, and did not contain any process to enable member u3as to judge whether a trust proposal was reasonable. I will now explain these points in more detail. Poor drafting. Resolution 5 is defectively vague. It is ambitious as to whether the state pension increase is to be calculated as to the rate or percentage of increase, or as to the amount of that increase. Again, this gives the trust an undesirably wide discretion which is unjustifiable. Wrong in principle. The annual membership fee is supposed to be determined by member u3as from time to time in annual general meeting AGMs. However, what Resolution 5 does is not to set the amount of the fee. Instead, it applies to it a formula for all future years, aggregating the amount of the fee not to the members, not even to the trust board, but rather to the UK government of the day to decide which of the relevant measures in the pensions triple lock are applied to it, i.e. the higher of 2.5%, the rate of growth of average earnings, or the retail price index inflation currently predicted to be around 10%. Or it could be none of these if legislation is changed. In addition, for the trust to think that u3as should agree to have a formula imposed to apply in all future years, regardless of circumstances, is ridiculous. A potential and unnecessarily high increase, which is unnecessary. The current prediction is that the rate of RPI, measured inflation, applicable to state pensions from April 2023 will be around 10%. This would mean the membership fee would rise by 40p to £4.40. Based on its budget for the current year, the Trust was looking to achieve an annual membership fee income of £160,000, but that target will be almost reached at the existing £4 member level with the 388,000 members. Moreover, what must have been a challenging year ending the 31st of March 2022, the Trust and its trading subsidiaries not only achieved a significant surplus, but also the Trust increased its reserves to over 2 million, far above the Trust's own recommended minimum level. With u3a membership continuing to increase and the switch to Beacon by many more u3as, the Trust will enjoy a substantial increase in the income in any event. A modest increase to membership fees of 5% or 20p per member may well be justified, if only in part to cover its own anticipated rise in payroll costs. Lack of proper process. It is not possible for any u3a to make a rational decision on a proposed fee increase without the Trust first supplying its detailed accounts for itself and its trading subsidiary. That the Trust put forward the wording of Resolution 5 before publishing its annual report and accounts is lamentable. But we now have the Trust report and accounts document. It's still not apparent why the Trust seeks for the year commencing the 1st of April 2023 a potential 10% rise in membership fees. What Amendment 7 does to redress Resolution 5's defects? It provides a specific and relatively modest amount of increase, 20p, at a relatively modest level for next year. It retains u3a members' control over approving any future increase. And for future years, it set out a proper process requiring the review of the Trust proposal to follow after disclosure of its detailed accounts for review by member u3as before the Trust proposes any increase in fees. I commend Amendment 7 to you and ask for your vote in support. End of statement. I now have to go on to the seconding statement, which I've been asked to provide you from Tunbridge Wells. Which I've provided by Tunbridge Wells. Was that Tunbridge Wells? Have I got that wrong? Sorry. Tunbridge Wells, that's correct, yeah, sorry. Tunbridge Wells say, we do not believe fee increase should be made by linking them to an index. In particular, the proposal to link them to the increase in the UK state pensions is inappropriate because the elements that are used to determine this are a complex mix of unrelated factors. Any increase should be based on a robust cost analysis of the Trust's financial position and allow member u3as to determine if such an increase is appropriate. So that's. You'll now be able to vote on Amendment 7 to Resolution 5. Okay, we will now move on to Amendment 8 to Ordinary Resolution 5. And this is proposed by Todd Morden, which I know I pronounce incorrectly, by Todd Midden, and seconded by Clitheroe and Burnley u3as. And they want that the words "and each year thereafter" by an amount based on the UK state pension increase be deleted and replaced with "be increased by 40p to £4.40 per member from the 1st of April 2023. Further increases will be agreed at an annual general meeting. In proposing such increases, the trustees will bear in mind the administrative and financial burden on local u3as of regular changes to subscription rates." So the amended resolution will now read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members based on the number in membership on the 31st of March 2023 be increased by 40p to £4.40 per member from the 1st of April 2023. Further increases will be agreed at an annual general meeting. In proposing such increases, the Trust will bear in mind the administrative and financial burden on local u3as of regular changes to subscription rates. This would increase the subscription rate to £4.40 from the 1st of April 2023. I've been asked to read out the following statement from the proposing and seconding u3as, which I will now do. So this is proposed by Todd Midden and seconded by Clitheroe and Burnley. Right. Todd Midden u3a's proposed amendments address our profound disagreement with the trustees' proposals and the thinking behind them. We do not agree with an annual percentage increase. These go up exponentially each year, taking an ever larger proportion of our member subscriptions. We accept that an increase may now be necessary, but we would prefer a delay to 2024, and the amount should be specified. We have proposed 40p on the existing rates. We object strongly to tying increases to the state pension rate. While trustees talk about an inflationary increase, this is not what has been proposed. The increase in the state pension is the higher of inflation, average earnings, or 2.5%. The triple lock is meant to address the fact the state pension is inadequate to live on and is wholly inappropriate as a means of setting the membership fee. We also disagree most strongly to an annual increase being made automatic without reference back to member u3as that fund it. This is undemocratic, and as charity trustees, we ourselves object to this loss of control over our finances. The final part of the amendment refers to the financial and administrative burden on u3as of regular increases. We feel it's essential this point is made to the trustees. When the trust raises its membership fees, it just sends an invoice to each u3a. Local committees, whether we agree with the increase or not, have to explain it to our members and collect individual subs. If we do not raise our rates to match these above inflation rises, then the increase has to come out of our reserves that we have raised and earmarked for other purposes, including our own increased costs. At Todd Midden, we have not raised our subscriptions since 2008, and payments to the trust now account for half our income. We had been planning an increase in 2023, but have put it back a year as we don't feel we can burden our members with an extra cost at this time, and we hope the trustees will take a similar approach to future increases. And huge apologies to Todd Midden, however I pronounce your name, I do apologise. Todd Midden. Apologies, Todd Midden. Todd Midden. So we will now be able to vote on Amendment 8 to Ordinary Resolution 5. Okay, so we're now ready. Thank you for your patience, everybody. We're now ready to move to the final amendment to Ordinary Resolution 5. So this is Amendment 9 to Ordinary Resolution 5. And that is proposed by Tarpley and seconded by Winsford. And they have said that the words "and each year thereafter by an amount based on the UK state pension increase" be deleted and replaced with "be increased from the 1st of April 2023 from £4 to £4.52, calculated at a predicted 13% inflation and reviewed annually by the membership." So the amended resolution will now read: the annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid up members, based on the number in membership on the 31st of March each year, be increased from the 1st of April 2023 from £4 to £4.52, calculated at a predicted 13% inflation and reviewed annually by the membership. This would increase the subscription rate to £4.52 from the 1st of April 23, and after that would come back to the membership. Tarpley and District and Winsford u3a have asked me to read this statement on their behalf. Tarpley and District u3a have submitted this amendment due to our concern that the Trust was not being fully accountable to its members. The original resolution gave the Trust the ability to increase the annual membership fee without consultation with members on each occasion, which we thought was unacceptable. Nevertheless, we recognise the current financial circumstances and we propose what we feel to be a reasonable increase of 13% for this financial year only. Any increases in subsequent years to be agreed by the membership, and this amendment has been seconded by Winsford u3a. You will now be able to vote on Amendment 9 to Ordinary Resolution 5. Okay, so that is the end of the voting on the amendments, and our very helpful vote compiling organisation, Attend to It, will now show you amendment by amendment the results. So that's that is. Okay, are we ready to move on? So, no amendment has been carried by simple majority, so we will now move on to Resolution 5. I would like to remind you of the wording of Resolution 5. The annual membership subscription paid by member u3as to the Third Age Trust for each of their paid-up members, based on the number of membership on the 31st of March each year, be increased from the 1st of April 2023 and each year thereafter by an amount based on the UK state pension increase. You may now vote on Resolution 5.